Welcome to Indiana Sports Beat Radio, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington.
Know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni!
Fires upfield into the end zone, and it's caught! Jelani Woods! Touchdown! INDY!
A 43-point night for Tyrese Halliburton.
How do you like that, partner?
Renew now, drives in low, throws up a shot. It doesn't go. Tipped up and in by Anthony Leal. Indiana takes the lead.
It's pretty simple. I win. Google me.
Now, here's your host, Jim Coyle.
Hello, everybody. Welcome aboard. It is Monday. I hope you had an absolute wonderful weekend and ready to get the week started. Think it's going to start out with a little showers, but that's okay. How about this crazy summer that we've had weather-wise? It has been absolutely spectacular. There's just nothing to complain about. I'm sorry. What I remember July being is hot all the time. So we've had a great one, even if August turns out to be warm. Hey, we just got to suck it up and take it, right? Appreciate you being with us. Jim Coyle here, as always, on Indiana Sports Beat Radio, powered by Andy Moore Honda. Get more to your door with AndyMooreHonda.com and the best in new and used vehicles. And, of course, Boost Fundraising. For those of you knows of some group or someone in need of using a fundraiser, Boost Fundraising offers the most unique and easy, user-friendly fundraiser in the nation. They will take care of you in each and every way. Gifts sent right to each and every donor to the doorstep, so they will take care of you. Just go to boostfundraising.com today. And how are you? Let's see. Before I forget, there's also something I want to mention coming up, and I'll try to do this a couple of times for you golfers. The Hulls family Never Lose Hoop golf outing is upon us, not just a few weeks away, August 22nd. That is a Thursday. It will take place at the Golf Club at Eagle Point. 11 a.m. check-in time, 12 p.m. shotgun start. It's only $125 a person, but this money is, you want to talk about all going to a great cause. This goes to area families. It stays right in this area. It goes to area families who have children dealing with cancer. This started with J.C. Hulls with his battle way back when, and he is still a gigantic leading part of this. But let's look at some of these opportunities. There's no other golf event that offers this to you. There's a $10,000 hole-in-one chance. These are just on par three holes. So these are not some crazy holes. Trust me. There are two, not one, but two other $5,000 hole-in-one opportunities. So you've got three chances to win a total of 20 grand. That's pretty fun. There's a chance to win a stay and play golf package for four to a premier golf course. There will also be some special guests from IU Athletics. I'm going to see if we can get those named out here pretty soon. Your team individual registration, you can go right to, well, I guess I need to get that out there myself because you can't click on that. But I need to just post this so you guys can do that. But I'll get that up and going, especially if anyone has any interest. I know that Gritty has signed up to play. So anyone else, let me know. This also includes your lunch, a lunch and dinner. And this is a nice dinner. It's not some chintzy. This is not hot dogs and potato salad. It's a nice dinner. So this is unbelievable. And there is also the silent auction for IU memorabilia and things like that. So this is one of the best reasons to do anything. And you get to play golf at a really nice golf course. So check it out. If you have any questions, reach out to me. But let's get this taken. Let's get this supported. Never Lose Hoop. Year in, year out. This is the one of the charities I work most with, And I would love to see, I'd love to see some ISB groups, put a group together. If you do, I'll do something special for you. I'll make sure that whether it's Jordan or whomever some of the other special guests we end up having out here, pictures and things like that with them. But we'll make sure that you are taken care of. Just make sure you let me know. Appreciate that. But don't forget, Never Lose Hoop Golf Outing coming up August 22nd. So get signed up. Get yourself a team. Or if it's a husband and wife duo, come on down. We'd appreciate having you. So thank you very much. Let's see. Got to get over to the comments. Appreciate everybody hitting us up early and often on the Andy Moore Honda hotline, as well as everybody listening all around, whether you're on 97 on ESPN, the Ref, always the right call in the Evansville area. And, of course, up in the region, the voice of the region, 1380 and 104.7 WJOB. And over in Fort Wayne, on Fort Wayne's only sports station, 1380 The Fan. Make sure you keep it just tuned right here on 1380, because immediately after Indiana Sports Beat, you'll find the Sports Rush. So keep it tuned on the local stations. Go nowhere. Just stay right there. And if you're listening in another way, we appreciate you, like I'm sure Larry is, our man Las Vegas Larry. We should all start piling a fund together and make once a week a bet. We can have Larry make us a bet once a week, and then see if we can build that up, or maybe during the season. I don't know if this is legal, but like when football season starts, for say Indiana and Purdue, we can bet on those games as a group. I think that would be interesting, and see if we can kind of build that up. That would be something fun to do. As I come away from Big Ten Media Days last week, just feeling more and more that this is going to be a special season for Indiana. It was great to get to talk to Kurt Cignetti on the program. If you missed that, go back and check that out here you can find that on the YouTube channel, Indiana Sports Beat's YouTube channel. In addition, we also spoke with three of Indiana's players, of course. And man, the funny thing is they were all in concert. It was like they had been coached, so to speak. Kind of kidding there, but anytime I would talk about the season, and I mean like UCLA, going to the Rose Bowl, how cool that's, yeah, but you couldn't get them past. You could not get those players past thinking about August 31st and Florida International. Every one of them to a man. And I found that impressive, because that tells me that what's going on in camp, it's sinking in. They're all on one page. They're all the one game at a time. And I even kind of jokingly mentioned the possibility, a clear path to a potential 6-0 start for Indiana. And of course, Kurt Cignetti says, I'm not biting. I'm not biting on that, but he was fun to have on the program. I'm glad we got to have him, and look forward to doing that again. But I'm jacked for football season. I truly am. And I know basketball season is only 100 days away, but we'll have that coming around soon as well. Appreciate everybody jumping on the Andy Moore Honda hotline, like I already said. Brian says, if you bet on Purdue, you're out of the group. No, you can bet either way. You can bet them to win, lose, bet against the spread. There's just all kinds of things to do. Derek on from Owensboro, we appreciate you. Brian, how about those opening ceremonies? Yes, the Olympics underway already. Lily King has already hit the pool, and she's moved on. We'll talk about some of those. ISB team shirts. We do have an ISB store coming to you soon. Tell me some of the things that you obviously t-shirts and like hooded sweatshirt. That's a gimme. Are there anything else? Other things really? If not, there's no point in filling that thing with a bunch of junk. That's not what I am about. Things that people want to have, absolutely. And I can tell you one thing that we're going to have in there in the ISB store: the Tipton Tornado shirts, people. Oh yeah, already working on that. The Tipton Tornado will have his own shirt, and we may have to get a few other guys through him involved in that. So we'll see what we can do there. Yep, I see Gritty says she signed up to participate. Did you notice I didn't say play? My golf game is horrible. No, I did not. So what are you doing? She's participating. I get it. There you go. She signed up to participate. Well, that's what I do generally, is participate. It's weird. Last week I had for me, I shot a 91, and it should have been easily in the upper 80s. And I'm talking about just a couple strokes difference. And that would have 89 is probably the best I've ever shot, period. That could have been accomplished so easily. There were just a couple of holes were just massive screw ups. But then I can go right out and make that look like, oh my, I can just junk it up. It's just when you don't do something regularly, boom. Nice caps. Oh yeah. Nice hats. And what does nice caps mean? Exactly. I'm going to write that down, of course. We've got, shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, easy, and then hats. But what kind of hats? What do people like most? I'm not a snap hat person. Kind of gotten beyond that since we don't have to. There's nothing better than the Velcro back. Or they all just the one size kind of a deal. But absolutely looking forward to getting some of that stuff out there for you. And we're going to have to find a spot. Maybe it's Never Lose Hoop that we donate to, but we definitely are going to want to donate to someone in need without question. On the program today, Greg Rakestraw will hopefully be joining us. As a matter of fact, I would have thought he would have already been on, but Todd Leary as well. And I'll check with Greg to see if he's going to be joining us on the program today. How was your weekend? What did you get done? Not other than the Olympics, not a lot going on. Men's basketball last night. Wallets. Yeah, I don't know about the wallets. Brian likes caps with structure. Well, see, that shows you people are very, very different. The current cap I'm wearing is an unstructured hat, and I have gone to liking those personally. But they'll be everything. We'll have everything. Nice long sleeve t-shirt. Yep, absolutely. I agree with that. I'm a quarter zip guy. Love those quarter zips. So yeah, we'll have it all up there. Don't worry. But yeah, I wish. Well, we'll get one for him in memoriam. Brian wishing he could get his dad. His dad has passed, but wishes he could get him a Tipton Tornado shirt. We'll get him one in memoriam. Robert asking, a special season for IU football with a question mark, finishing with anything above 500 or even pretty much qualifies. Well, yes, but not anymore. That can't be the mark anymore. You have to set standards that are higher. You just do. It can't. Lance Leopold has shown what can be done. Kansas was the Indiana of football. great basketball program, football program, not so much. As a matter of fact, Indiana may have had a better football program than Kansas, to be honest with you, because Indiana has probably put more guys in the NFL in the last 2 decades than Kansas. I don't know that for a fact, but I'm thinking, Antoine Randall and Jordan, the running backs that have gone on. Nate Sudfeld's still there. You've still got a couple of receivers that are still in the NFL from Indiana. But my point being, it can be done. There's no question that it can be done. And especially now in this era. And where did Lance Leipold come from? Buffalo. Where did Alabama's basketball coach come from? Yeah, they were at Buffalo at the same time. So if you remember Buffalo just blowing up all of a sudden, I remember talking about this, thinking, where in the hell did Buffalo come from all of a sudden with both basketball and football were ranked? It was nuts. But you had Lance Leipold and Nate Oates at that school. If you think coaching is not a paramount, that should tell you a lot right there. It is. So golf shirt, yep. Didn't even think about that. In that wicking dry material, absolutely. I'll have to get one I have to get one that's not stainable, because I stain everything as soon as it's on there. Yeah, Robert says this. Sadly, that has been the deal too long. Kevin K-Bro jumping on says Leipold and Oates both hired by Buffalo AD Danny White, who is now the AD at Tennessee. So now, great point, K-Bro. Wish you were on with us. So if you're available, send me a text. Love talking to you. But that shows you all three. Look at the three-headed monster that they had. Their athletics director, Danny White, he's on to a big-time program in the SEC at Tennessee. And, of course, the two coaches at Alabama, Nate Oates at Alabama, and has turned them into a national power, and Lance Leipold in Kansas, and we've seen what he has done there. So it absolutely can be done. That's a great little tidbit, K-Bro. Love to have you on. Miss Chet with you. Hope all is well. But yeah, it's just exciting stuff. And I'm just looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to all that. And we also have the questions lingering now. I'm gonna have to get Mr. Mangarelli back on, because the NCAA antitrust settlement, the details, payouts, revenue sharing, all of that stuff, because the future structure of major college sports is starting to come into sharper focus. The proposed details for how those athletes will be paid, likely in the future, were published this past Friday in extensive court filing in Northern California. The changes are part of a pending legal settlement that would resolve a trio of looming antitrust lawsuits filed against the NCAA and its 5 wealthiest conferences. We appreciate you, my friend. Oh, I did not realize that. Bobby Hurley was also a coach at Buffalo. Man, how about Dan? How about that AD? You think he didn't earn his job? I promise you, he did. Great, good. That was a great point, K-Bro. But yes, getting back to this, because this is going to start paying dividends as well. And I think it's going to start evening the playing field. I really do. I think the playing field is going to be evened up immensely because of some of this. Now, like a school for Indiana, for example, that $20 million, I can tell you right now, a large chunk of that is going to go towards football and men's basketball. And there should be no groaning and moaning about that, because where do you think the money comes in from for, say, the Big Ten Network or any television? It's for men's basketball and football. Period. End of story. Doesn't matter. The football program doesn't have to have been great for that to be the case. Number one, it's who they play. They're playing Michigan. They're playing Ohio State. They're playing these big-time teams. But here of late, Indiana has had some times where they were not only competitive with those teams, beat Michigan, the run in 2020. They're a touchdown away from playing for a Big Ten championship, from winning the Big Ten East. As crazy as that was, it was true. But it's where the money comes from. Philip says, I am assuming the claiming people are irrational. Well, it's not going to be it's not going to matter. I get that, and you're right. But I get the fact that people are going to think that they deserve this and they deserve that, and it's not about deserve. It goes back to the best example that I can give to make is soccer, the men's and women's national soccer teams. There's no doubt that the women's soccer program has been more successful on the national stage. I'm the first one to say that. But the men aren't paid more simply because they're men. They're paid more because globally, men's soccer is the meal ticket. In the United States, it's been women's. But see, the money is not coming from the United States. It's coming from the global soccer federation, the whole thing. It's coming from the whole pie. Well, the men's pie is just much bigger than the women's, because there is many more eyes on the men's soccer overall than there are on the women's. It has nothing to do with thinking that men are better than women or this or that. It's just a fact of reality that there are more viewers globally of men's soccer. Therefore, it is a much more lucrative product. And that's why. You can say that's not fair, but that's life. I mean, just go into any business. If you have this business making substantially more money than this business, odds are employees of business A are going to just simply make more money than employees of business B. It's just the way it is. So that's that. But, man, we've got to take a break. I went way over. I can't believe I can talk that long without stopping. Hope everyone's having a good one. Looking forward to it. And hopefully we've got Todd Leary coming up here in the next segment. And look forward to having a good day with everybody. It's been a good one so far. And we're back with more right after this.
This segment is brought to you by the Rusty Gator.
In the market for a new or used vehicle? Well, nobody beats the prices and selection of Andy Moore Honda in Bloomington. Right now, get a brand new Honda with no payments for 90 days. That's right, 2023 and 2024 Honda Pilots, HRVs, CRVs, Honda Ridgelines, payment-free for 90 days. Or get 0.9% APR financing for 36 months on a 2023 Honda Ridgeline. Go to AndyMooreHonda.com and get more to your door.
If you're looking for a home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in you getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty at cheryl@indiehomepros.com or 317-298-0961. Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty. Let Cheryl Sizemore get you in the home you want today. Cheryl@indiehomepros.com.
Looking for someone to cater your next corporate event, family reunion, or tailgate? To some, a garnish may be nothing more than just a decoration put last on a plate. But in Bloomington, catering starts with Garnish Catering. Serving all of Bloomington and surrounding areas, Garnish Catering is waiting to help make your next event one to remember. Planning a great event shouldn't have to be stressful. Whether we quote you just for catering or a total event package, you can trust that you're making the right choice with Garnish Catering. Visit garnishcatering.com. That's garnishcatering.com. Garnish Catering is a proud partner of WOW Food Group.
Whether it's a night out with the family, after work with colleagues, or catching the game with friends, Bubba's 33 is the place for you. Bubba's 33 offers a mouthwatering menu of selections that are all made from scratch every day. The portions are big, but the prices are small. And with over 50 big screen TVs, you'll never miss the big game. Bubba's 33, pizza, burgers, beer.
Country living is just a swing away. It can be hard to find the exact home that fits your family's needs, so there couldn't be a better time to build a new home with Property Shore Construction. Now building exclusively south of Bloomington within the Stonecrest Golf community. Choose from one of the gorgeous Stonecrest Signature Series house plans. We have several lots available with scenic views of the golf course. Contact Amy Rhoda with Ravesco Real Estate for additional information. 812-583-0919 or go to mystonecrestliving.com. That's mystonecrestliving.com for more details.
Enjoy healthy, delicious meals at home without the hassle with the Fresh Fork. Chef-curated, ready-made meals delivered right to your doorstep. Proudly fueling IU athletes and now available to you with a menu that's always fresh and diverse, from hearty proteins to fresh salads. The Fresh Fork empowers you to make better food choices without compromising. Let the Fresh Fork help transform your lifestyle for a healthier way of living today at thefreshforkonline.com. Use promo code RADIO20 and get $20 off your first order.
This segment is brought to you by Freethink Apparel.
Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat Radio on this Monday. I hope you're doing well. It was a kind of a relaxing weekend. What did you do? What did you watch? Not a lot going on. The Olympics underway on Friday night with the opening ceremonies. Baseball still going on. And we'll be talking about the antitrust suit. Looking forward to Dustin Dopirak and Todd Leary jumping on. And hopefully Greg Rakestraw can join us here as well. He spaced it. So we'll get him on any time that he can join us, and look forward to that. I mentioned last week I had a grand opportunity after Big Ten Media Days on Thursday. And again, big thanks to Dave First at he's the VP of Communications for IndyCar at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Former, you know his name from formerly sports anchor in the Indy market, and we interned together at a CBS station in Louisville, along with a guy named John Hartung, who is now and has been for a long time, but at the ABC station in Los Angeles. So that was a cool group, us three together. Usually they get one intern and period, and to have three, it was over the course of a summer. It was wild, and for all of us to actually go on and be in the business was kind of crazy. But Fred Calgill was the sports director, and if you live in Southern Indiana, you know that name well. He was the sports director at WOKY CBS for 28, 30 years, maybe 33. I'm not even sure how long. But he set the deal the other day with Dave, and we played the Brickyard Crossing golf course. I had never played that there before. And I was thinking, how, it's probably all right. Oh my gosh, that thing is wicked, people. It's a Pete Dye course in incredible shape. You 3 or 4 of the holes you play are inside the track, which is wild. But just being there is awesome. Then we took a couple of spins around the track. I'll have to get that video up for you guys one day. But and then we did the kiss the bricks, the routine, the whole deal. It was kind of, I've got to tell you, that's one of the coolest things. Even though I've been to Indy multiple times, been on the track multiple times, for media stuff. When none of that is going on, it's kind of cool. You get a little fanish, and that's okay. But it was a heck of a time, and I enjoyed it greatly. Let's see. Someone said, Tanis, you don't get what you don't get what you deserve. You get what you earn. If you work for it, the skill will come. So I guess I jumped in the middle of that. Derek says, football is what helps a lot of funding, especially for the smaller sports programs of these schools. Football is the train. It's the engine, rather, of the train. It is the engine of every train, and it's a reason why Indiana and Purdue are very much alike in the fact that their main sports are basketball. That makes sense because they're in the state of Indiana. I get that. And Purdue has had great success, I guess you'd say, within the conference. Indiana's had great success outside of the conference with 5 national championships, another Final Four appearance on top of that. They have not been great here in the last several years. We all know that, but they're still one of those programs that can just rise up because their fan base is wacky. And I mean that in a great way. This could be a great year for Indiana athletics, period. If you look at the potential for football, men's basketball, women's basketball, that could be a triple crown for Indiana this year. But that's putting the cart before the horse of sorts because none of that stuff has started yet. We're going on what looks good on paper, and we shall see how that turns out. But I expect Indiana's football program to surprise a lot of people, like I have said. I think Purdue has just put themselves in such a tough position with that schedule. I mean, they have a wicked schedule. If Purdue could get to a bowl with the schedule they have, they deserve a ton of credit. Ryan Walters have deserved a ton of credit because it's a wicked schedule they have. Their non-con games against Notre Dame and Oregon State, and I believe that one's on the road. Man, it's tough. So they'll deserve any accolades they get. And in basketball, they're going to be competitive in the Big Ten. Do I think that they're going to win? No. But, I mean, win the conference championship again? No. But that's only because I think that the Big Ten Conference in basketball is going to be absolutely fun this year because of the parity. Who is going to be the best? I don't know. Indiana's going to be up there. UCLA is going to be up there. Purdue is going to be up there. Ohio State might be up there. Michigan is going to be it's just going to be a tough game every time. There are going to be a lot of tough games in the Big Ten this year, and I think that it is going to create an amount of parity we haven't seen is because you're adding in 4 new programs that are also decent programs. UCLA is better than decent. UCLA is one of those teams that's going to be at the top, considered to have a shot. Oregon, I'm not sure yet. Washington, no. And USC, yeah, I think that they lost too much of what they had to do much. We'll find out about that, but I just think it's going to be a fun year in both of these major sports for the conference, and kind of can be a trendsetter going forward, because now this is a season and a year where the SEC has broadened with Texas and Oklahoma joining the Big Ten, a little bit bigger with all 4 of those teams, new teams coming in. So I don't know that the Big Ten in basketball has they're not a top 10 team yet. Until we see who's what. Whereas the SEC, yeah, Alabama's going to be pretty tough probably. They're going to have a couple of teams that may be much higher ranked. I don't know that the Big Ten, do they have a team that could win it all? That's a question. I don't know. I'm not seeing that team that is just that top 5 team. Of course, the season is a little under 100 days from even starting, but you generally have an idea. In football, we know that Ohio State is probably going to be in that upper echelon. Michigan might be, not sure. Not sure because of all the change. New coach, lost a ton of offense. This could be a topsy-turvy year, a real topsy-turvy year in the Big Ten Conference. And, hey, Purdue could surprise people. Indiana could surprise people. This is because everything we've talked about right now has been on paper. And paper doesn't do much. Doesn't tell us much at all. What are your thoughts? What do you think is going to happen? As far as Big Ten basketball, we don't have anybody that is a clear and away leader. I don't think even IU fans think that Indiana is a clear and away leader. I don't think that Purdue fans think that Purdue is a clear and away winner, which I love that, because the last 2 seasons have kind of not been fun, knowing that you've got, to me at least, as I call him, the Andre the Giant of college basketball. It was just a generational player that's not, and by generational, I mean in size, not it was just a situation that does not come along, and we won't be seeing again, and they don't have that to live on. So there's no clear-cut winner to me that I see. And then you're going to have all of these things like the House case that will eventually be having an impact on all of these programs. The 5 power conferences and lawyers representing a class of Division I athletes, they filed the detailed terms of the antitrust suit Friday. That is the potential to reshape all of college sports business. Both of these parties agreed, this is going back to May, to settle a trio of those lawsuits to get them out of the way. The new details now outline how past athletes going back to 2016 are going to share the $2.78 billion in damages that's going to be paid out that the NCAA has agreed to pay. It's got to set up a new system for revenue sharing going forward, as I talked about, and outlines new roster limits. That's enough. See, all this stuff is all part of that. Football is probably going to have 105 to 110 players, but these are all going to be scholarship players, which is going to cost schools more money in scholarships because they have to pay for those scholarships. And the thing that coaches have hated most is there will be no more walk-ons. And that kind of sucks. You know, there will be no Rudies. No Rudies, baby. No more walk-ons. Our buddy Mitchell Page, he was a walk-on, FYI. So there are going to be guys that miss out, and that's sad. That's one of the sad parts about this. But another important step in the ongoing effort to provide increased benefits to the student athletes while creating a stable and sustainable model for the future of college sports, the NCAA and its power conferences stated last Friday morning, while there is much work to be done in the settlement approval process, this is a significant step toward establishing clarity for the future of all Division I athletes while maintaining a lasting education-based model, which is a joke, for college sports. There is no more education-based. Where of all this stuff that is going on, has there been one time that anyone has mentioned education? That's the first. That is the first time I have seen a mention of education. It's all about money. So I'm not sure where that is, but we shall see. It's all about the Benjamins, man. It's all about the Benjamins, and how much I don't know. Will it change? Will it change college sports for the viewer any more than it already has? I mean, you already have a deal where the likelihood of seeing a player for a second year in a row, a lot of times, is not always that likely. It's going to be interesting to see. Indiana is going to be a great litmus test to me to see after this season. Let's say they have a successful season. That means guys are going to have to shine. Do those guys that shine and have eligibility, are they able to be retained? That goes for any place. What are you talking about? Purdue, Illinois, Michigan. It doesn't matter. Are you going to be able to retain the shiners? The guys that make the engine go? That's another part that fans hate is you like the teams. You like getting familiarity with the teams. I was thinking the other day about baseball. When I grew up, the Big Red Machine, every year. Pete Rose and George Foster and Kent Griffey and Cesar Geronimo and Dave Concepcion and Joe Morgan and Tony Perez and Johnny Bench. Boom. They were going to be out there. I knew that the next season their lineup was going to be the same. And it was fun. Ain't nothing about fun in the deal now. It's all about the money. Did I not say George Foster? George Foster out in left field. Absolutely. But it's taken a lot of the fun out of it for the fans. But the schools sure seem to love it. And so you know exactly what is going on. Any Division I athlete who played the sport from 2016 to present day is eligible for those past damages. Just so you know. We'll get more into that. We've got to take another quick break. We'll be back
with more Indiana Sports Beat Radio right after this. If you're looking for a home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in you getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty at cheryl@indyhomepros.com or 317-298-0961. Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty. Let Cheryl Sizemore get you in the home you want today. Cheryl@indyhomepros.com. Whether it's a night out with the family, after work with colleagues, or catching the game with friends, Bubba's 33 is the place for you. Bubba's 33 offers a mouthwatering menu of selections that are all made from scratch every day. The portions are big, but the prices are small. And with over 50 big screen TVs, you'll never miss the big game. Bubba's 33. Pizza, burgers, beer.
Country living is just a swing away. It can be hard to find the exact home that fits your family's needs, so there couldn't be a better time to build a new home with Property Shore Construction. Now building exclusively south of Bloomington within the Stonecrest Golf Community. Choose from one of the gorgeous Stonecrest Signature Series house plans. We have several lots available with scenic views of the golf course. Contact Amy Rhoda with Revesco Real Estate for additional information. 812-583-0919 or go to mystonecrestliving.com. That's mystonecrestliving.com for more details.
Know a team or group needing a fundraiser? Boost Fundraising raises more money faster and offers the most unique and user-friendly online fundraiser in the nation. Your team receives personalized fundraising pages for each team member. Free team-branded promo gifts shipped to each donor. Boost Fundraising does it all. Sports teams, marching bands, charity causes, and community groups. Go to boostfundraising.com and be sure to enter the promo code COYLE, that's COYLE, to receive a discounted fundraiser.
Looking for someone to cater your next corporate event, family reunion, or tailgate? To some, a garnish may be nothing more than just a decoration put last on a plate. But in Bloomington, catering starts with Garnish Catering. Serving all of Bloomington and surrounding areas, Garnish Catering is waiting to help make your next event one to remember. Planning a great event shouldn't have to be stressful. Whether we quote you just for catering or a total event package, you can trust that you're making the right choice with Garnish Catering. Visit garnishcatering.com. That's garnishcatering.com. Garnish Catering is a proud partner of WOW Food Group.
In the market for a new or used vehicle? Well, nobody beats the prices and selection of Andy Moore Honda in Bloomington. Right now, get a brand new Honda with no payments for 90 days. That's right, 2023 and 2024 Honda Pilots, HRVs, CRVs, Honda Ridgelines, payment-free for 90 days. Or get 0.9% APR financing for 36 months on a 2023 Honda Ridgeline. Go to AndyMooreHonda.com and get more to your door.
This segment is brought to you by Hoosier Hanks East.
Welcome back to Indiana Sports Beat Radio on this Monday. I hope you had a great weekend and ready to get the week started. We are certainly have Greg Rakestraw, our good friend from the ISB Sports Network, joining us now. Greg, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. I think I'm in studio with you because I'm only kind of half here, so hopefully you are hearing me properly, my friend.
Yeah, it's I think it's cutting out a little bit. Hopefully we'll get that improved there. But another slower weekend, I guess, of sorts, at least for me, which was nice. I can't say the same for you because that's usually not the case. But what's new for Greg Rakestraw?
So what's new for me is I am in Charlotte, North Carolina this morning. I have an event for USA Basketball, which is the end of the AAU season. It is the 9th and 10th grade national championships. Did the boys event on Thursday. The girls event is today. So as soon as I get in with this conversation, I'll head about 25 minutes south to Rock Hill, South Carolina. And then I've got events coming up at 2 and 3:15 that truly is the end of the summer basketball circuit.
Well, man, Rock Hill has certainly been the site of some big-time hoops here lately, as the Adidas 3SSB just finished up down there a week or so ago, and now more action happening about 30 minutes outside of Charlotte. So that's got to be fun.
Yeah, and it was good to the Indiana teams down at Rock Hill. I know, obviously, the 17 group for Indiana Elite finishes the national runners-up in terms of the Adidas circuit. The 16U group won their division here last week, and Jimmy kind of won it in unique fashion. They won their semifinal with a three-pointer from about 30 feet away with a second left to play. Cole Edlin, a young man that plays at Male High School in Louisville, hit the game-winning shot. They then did not have to play in the championship game. The team they were playing out of Arizona brought 6 players to the tournament. 1 player had to leave. They're down to 5. Player gets hurt in the semifinals.
Oh my God.
That
My team is on the
wins
floor,
their
baby.
semifinal. 4-on-5. Rules stated you had to start the game with 5 players. You can finish a game with 4. You had to start with 5. And so Indiana Elite was crowned the U.S. Club Championship champions for men's basketball for the 10th grade division without actually having to play in the championship game.
That's crazy. That's it reminds me of Hoosiers, baby. My team is on the floor going with the 4-on-5 routine. That's what I was screaming out there. I'm like, wow, that's wild. But that had to be even more exciting for those guys.
It was. And again, that team, Luke Ertl, who played up all summer with the 17-year-old kids, played back down for this event. It's a team that, again, Indiana Elite and other teams do this too. It's not just kids from the state of Indiana. 2 Louisville area kids played on that team. 1 young man from Ohio that is one of the more highly, sought after recruits in the country, played on that team. They had a young man from La Lumiere that played on that team. As far as kids that play Indiana high school basketball, Luke Ertl, Evan Harrell, EJ Hazlett, Harrell, of course, from Carmel, Hazlett from Franklin Central, Dikembe Shaw from Crown Point, and Reggie Hitton III from Gary Westside. Those were the Indiana kids or Indiana high school kids that were a part of that group that took home that national championship.
Man, that keeping you busy. I didn't realize you were going to have to be going down to Charlotte coming up. But and I thought basketball had kind of come to a close, but obviously not the case. Are we done with basketball yet?
This is ended right here. And so literally the boys event and the boys season ended Thursday. The only event that D1 coaches could go to those 3 days that's co-sponsored by the NCAA and USA Basketball. On the girls' side, it started Saturday. It finishes today. So this is it. And again, what is unique about this event, and Jim, you follow this better than most, so much of the high level, summer basketball is circuit based. You're playing the Adidas circuit. You're playing the Nike circuit. You're playing the Under Armour circuit. This event has teams from all of those groups. And that's why kind of USA Basketball gets involved. And so this is not the shoe circuit championship. This is the national championship. And if you're wondering, all right, what's the Indiana high school doing down in North Carolina? In that ISB, we have a production contract for US basketball. So I got to do this 3 events Massachusetts back in April. This is the other event I do with basketball each and every year. Now, if you're wondering, is this the end of basketball for me for a while? The answer is no. I have one more day of basketball coming up next Thursday. That is the annual City League Finals for both women and men that take place at Tech High School. They have a lot of former pros, current pros, players college basketball. I'll do next Thursday. And
Oh, may have lost Greg further. There, he's back now. So next Thursday wraps that up, hopefully. And then we're, not far away from high school football starting.
No, correct. So practice starts a week from Monday. Football started for me because Colts training camp started. So I was there yesterday before I went to the airport, and I'll be back there, if not tomorrow morning, then on Wednesday morning. But you are correct. The high school football season is a week later this year because Thanksgiving moves back a week. And so the high school football, high school sports season in general moves back a week as well. So official high school football practice starts next Monday, August 5th. Season starts Friday, August 23rd. So no rest for the wicked nor the weary as we make the transition back to football momentarily.
Yeah, the NFL has already begun. The Colts have already begun, as Greg just talked about. Indiana and Purdue will be starting here shortly, within days, as a matter of fact, in between that and the start of the high school season. So it's here, baby. I mean, there's no more. We just wrapped up with Big Ten Media Days for football for the Big Ten. Several coaches making their first appearances there. Of course, that's set to stay in India. The championship, Big Ten championship, set to stay in Indianapolis through 2028, which is always good to see. Of course, I'm sure we'll see it bounce around after that, but we know at least for the next 4 years that's going to remain at Lucas Oil Stadium.
And Jim, to be honest, I'm a little surprised by that. Not because Indianapolis isn't a great host, doesn't do a great job. And let's face it, shy of hosting the Super Bowl, this has been as good of a year for Indianapolis as a host city as we have seen. With the NBA All-Star Game, with having first and second round NCAA tournament games, obviously the event with USA Swimming in terms of Lucas Oil Stadium, Indianapolis is on a high in terms of hosting major sporting events. But I really thought that with the westward expansion of the Big Ten, you would see a Big Ten championship game like at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, something along those lines. That kind of like, when new teams enter the Big Ten, you would see the basketball tournament move into their backyard. We had one at MSG, one in Washington, D.C. So at some point in time, that football championship game is going to go someplace else. But I'm happy that we can hang on to it in Indianapolis for as long as we can.
Absolute. What's up next for you, sir? I think we're having a little connection problem.
Lost you for a second, buddy. Say that again, please.
I was just saying I appreciate you taking time to stop in with us down in Charlotte. I know it's making the connection a little more difficult today, but we look forward to hearing about it all on next Monday.
I will talk to you next Monday from Indiana. Morning, buddy.
Sounds good. Greg Rakestraw joining us here from the ISC Sports Network. Up next, Dustin Dopirak from the Indy Star. We're back with Dustin right after this.
If you're looking for a home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in you getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty at cheryl@indyhomepros.com or 317-298-0961. Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty. Let Cheryl Sizemore get you in the home you want today. Cheryl@indyhomepros.com. Whether it's a night out with the family, after work with colleagues, or catching the game with friends, Bubba's 33 is the place for you. Bubba's 33 offers a mouth-watering menu of selections that are all made from scratch every day. The portions are big, but the prices are small. And with over 50 big screen TVs, you'll never miss the big game. Bubba's 33, pizza, burgers, beer. Country living is just a swing away. It can be hard to find the exact home that fits your family's needs, so there couldn't be a better time to build a new home with Property Shore Construction. Now building exclusively south of Bloomington within the Stonecrest Golf community. Choose from one of the gorgeous Stonecrest Signature Series house plans. We have several lots available with scenic views of the golf course. Contact Amy Rhoda with Rebesco Real Estate for additional information. 812-583-0919 or go to mystonecrestliving.com. That's mystonecrestliving.com for more details.
Know a team or group needing a fundraiser? Boost Fundraising raises more money faster and offers the most unique and user-friendly online fundraiser in the nation. Your team receives personalized fundraising pages for each team member. Free team-branded promo gifts shipped to each donor. Boost Fundraising does it all. Sports teams, marching bands, charity causes, and community groups. Go to boostfundraising.com and be sure to enter the promo code COYLE, that's COYLE, to receive a discounted fundraiser.
Looking for someone to cater your next corporate event, family reunion, or tailgate? To some, a garnish may be nothing more than just a decoration put last on a plate. But in Bloomington, catering starts with Garnish Catering. Serving all of Bloomington and surrounding areas, Garnish Catering is waiting to help make your next event one to remember. Planning a great event shouldn't have to be stressful. Whether we quote you just for catering or a total event package, you can trust that you're making the right choice with Garnish Catering. Visit garnishcatering.com. That's garnishcatering.com. Garnish Catering is a proud partner of WOW Food Group.
In the market for a new or used vehicle? Well, nobody beats the prices and selection of Andy Moore Honda in Bloomington. Right now, get a brand new Honda with no payments for 90 days. That's right, 2023 and 2024 Honda Pilots, HRVs, CRVs, Honda Ridgelines, payment-free for 90 days. Or get 0.9% APR financing for 36 months on a 2023 Honda Ridgeline. Go to AndyMooreHonda.com and get more to your door.
Segment is brought to you by the Fresh Fork in Bloomington. This segment is brought to you by Hoosier Hanks East.
Jim?
Yep, welcome back, everybody. Missed the pull back in. I couldn't find it for some reason. There we go. We'll do that. How about a little music? Smooth music is. Dustin Dopirak joins us now here on Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Dustin, how are you, sir?
Doing well, Jim. How about yourself, man?
Cannot complain. Have you been watching the Olympics, I'm sure?
Of course. I've got women's rugby sevens on right now. This game is nuts. This sport is nuts. I mean, it's so fast. It's like I turned it on. It was supposed to kick off at 9:30. It was 9:36, and it was like halftime.
So is this a 7-on-7 kind of arena football type of thing or something?
No, it's rugby. It's like
just straight regular rugby.
Yeah, it's like 7-on-7 rugby. And I mean, like I guess I don't know what the normal size of a rugby team is. I think it's bigger than that. But this is like more wide open. So France is up 17-7 on the US, but US has a chance of coming back. I mean, like it's sort of like wide open, it's like 7-on-7 football, but you can't pass forward. You could pass sideways and stuff like that, but like it's a full, as far as I can tell, a full-size rugby field, like close to a full-size football field. I don't know, but it's like a lot of wide open running and everything like that, like a lot of space like you would have if it were 7-on-7 football. So, I don't know, like there's a thousand cool things to watch in the Olympics every year. You find new stuff because whatever happens to be on TV, you put on and learn about stuff that you didn't care about before and get suddenly invested in it. But, I spent more time watching basketball just because obviously interested in that for Pacers reasons. Watched Canada, watched the United States, watched some swimming, stuff like that. But the basketball tournament is of real interest because it's, I still think the Americans win it, but I think it's the best tournament ever just because there's just more talent. I mean, I think that there's, with even not counting the U.S. team, there's 68 NBA players, which is nuts, which is like, I think in 92 there were 21 and like that's tripled, and it's pretty wild. It's been, been some good games so far. I mean, Americans looked really good, I thought, yesterday, but it's definitely an up in the air tournament, I think.
Yeah, there's so much that you can watch and enjoy that I'm not sure that people realize.
Sure.
And it's crazy, but a lot of people stick to the I don't want
basics, the traditional the traditional Olympic sports, the ones that everybody cares about every 4 years.
But track. Gymnastics is always big.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Simone Biles is on one. So I mean, she might
started off on fire last night, didn't she?
She really did. And that's just cool. Like, especially after the last one went, after years of dominance where the last time she was just off, she looks like more than herself this time. Like she's taken it up an entire notch. And I think she's in for, just a special performance across the board. So, you're going to see them do really well in teams. She's going to be great in all around. I mean, she looks awesome. She's got, her ankle's a little bit dinged up, but I don't think it matters. I think she's going to be fine. I don't think she's just going to be fine. She's going to be awesome. tremendous.
Absolutely. And the same with you've got swimming going, and a ton of not only IU athletes, Indiana athletes, and then Big Ten athletes. It's Big Ten has the most athletes of any college conference. I'd say Indiana, I don't want to guess that they have the most of any team or any school, but they've got to be up there. They have produced an abundance of swimmers and divers.
Sure.
And Lily King already in the water once and has moved on in the 100 meter. I think it was 100 breaststroke, I believe.
Yeah.
That she moves on to the next.
She's in the.
What is the next? Is that the finals already?
I think she's in the finals. Let me check this out.
I believe that is the case. Yeah, I think that is the case where she's already moved up to that.
Yeah, I think the semis were yesterday. Let me look here. Lily King is in. What time is this today? 3:25 p.m. today is when they get going. So
we'll look forward to that and keep track of how Miss King is doing. This is her last Olympics. But it begs the question, how old is Katie Ledecky? Like 67 or 8? I mean,
we're awful. We're awful, man. We think like
I'm just kidding because she's an amazing, amazing athlete. I'm joking because she has been in how many Olympics? I mean, this lady she's unbeatable. She's a machine.
Let me see here. Hold on a second. What's her? I'm looking her up on Wiki. No, 200. So this is her fourth, which is kind of amazing. I mean, 2012.
Well, it is for swimming. I mean, she's competing against college athletes that are substantially younger than her.
Right. She's 27. She's 27. Like, she's not like. What are we talking about, Jim?
But but in dog years, in Olympic dog years, that's like 40 something.
Well, it's not the same as gymnastics. I mean, I think you can get into your 30s in swimming and be okay. Like obviously it requires just a phenomenal level of conditioning, and you've got to decide that you have to be, in world class, tip top, condition and shape to keep doing it. But yeah, I mean, so 4 years ago, so 2012, she had to be what, 15, I guess. Yeah, I mean that's like probably the more crazy part is she won a gold in 2012 in 800 meter freestyle when she was 15. That's nuts. She's 27 now. I mean, like I'm looking at world championship golds and she's got like 20. It's insane. This like just the just this amount of success she's had. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She's got 7 Olympic golds. You have to presume she's still going to win the 800. She got bronze in the 4. Never quite had the juice for that one. She was just a little bit behind that entire race. But she's still incredible. Just an absolute phenomenal swimmer.
And of course, Lily King, she's already made it known this is her last Olympics. And then I guess she'll just move on to. Well, she's already doing that. I was going to say, what do you do after that? I mean, you're already competing professionally. So does that continue, or is she done swimming?
I imagine she'll find some swimming to do. I honestly don't even know the specifics of how it works with swimming. I mean, track, there's in track, you have the Diamond League, you have, various kind of professional opportunities. They're not great. You have to spend a lot of time in Europe to do anything between world championships, basically. Like you obviously have Olympic years, but you have worlds in between that and USATF in between that. Swimming obviously has their world championships and their national championships, but if you're out of that kind of international stuff, I don't know what you do, because I don't know if too many swim meets like they have in the Diamond League in Europe, but there could be that. I just don't know about it. So I haven't followed it that closely. That's what makes swimming and track weird sports to follow, even going back to college, is that like you have these just big events and then you don't have a lot in between. Like it's not like baseball, basketball, football where you have leagues, and you have championships to compete for all the time, and stuff like that, or regular seasons. They do have, again, I know they have track meets in Europe, and Diamond League, has some level of, like draws at some level, but I don't know if swimming has a counterpart to that. Maybe somebody might know that, and I just don't. But I imagine if if she says she's done with Olympics and Olympic training, she might just move on and, have a life and live as a conquering hero.
Yeah, that's it's hard to something you've done your entire life. And this is, this is something she's done her entire life, and then, move on from high school to college to the international stage, an unbelievable international stage where she made her presence known immediately with the big bad Russians, and became a star because of her down home Evansville type, an Evansville native. For everyone listening down on the ref down there, they've got tons to be proud of. Obviously, she probably did not learn to swim in the Ohio River down there, though.
You never know. Hey, man. I would, probably not. I imagine she swam in pools.
I would hope it's not your favorite place to swim in. What has been your favorite part of the Olympics thus far?
It's a good question. I mean, swimming was fun. Rugby's fun. I was entertained by the opening ceremony. I know some people were insulted by it, but the medal moment with Marie Antoinette holding her head was pretty bizarre. That's something I'm not going to forget ever. But I mean, I watched. We obviously, like I told you, we went to Paris in June, and even just watching the cycling trials yesterday, I felt like I was seeing a lot of things I'd seen, when we were there, and it's been cool to, I feel like I got to go back, a little bit and kind of, see it's a gorgeous city. I mean, it's just a fantastic city, and that's been just cool to see, the scenery, and just sort of reminded where MJ and I were for that week, or not week. We were only there for 2 days because we went to Barcelona after that. But just how well they've done a good job of sort of centering the Eiffel Tower and everything. They've got beach volleyball with right behind the Eiffel Tower. I thought was really cool. So that's been cool. But starting to dive into everything again. Like I thought, U.S. men looked really good yesterday. Kevin Durant looked fantastic. LeBron looks ageless. I thought those games were pretty impressive. Again, just feel like I'm just checking it out now. I'm a track guy more than anything else in terms of, Olympic sports. So we got another few days before that gets kicking. And that's going to be fun to watch. But, just seeing the beginnings of it is always cool. You're just sort of like the more and more channels you have to watch this stuff on, just sort of like at any time of day, you can put something on. And obviously once they get past the time when they're still competing in France, you still have, replays on in the US and everything. Like there's just stuff to watch all day, every day, which is really cool. And so I always enjoy that piece of it. There's always some cool competition to check out.
Yeah. And one of the great things is NBC has, done a great job of going from venue to venue via this big Google type map, but it's wild because they're kind of far away, but like where the equestrian course is set up at this great spot, you're like, wow. And the beach volleyball is set at the feet of the Eiffel Tower. That's got to be kind of wild. Of course, where else do they set it up on that river they have? So there's not much other place to set that up. What a backdrop.
All of this stuff. I think it's fascinating the decisions you make in terms of what you put where, if you have, because you don't have to have it entirely in the city limits. In fact, for the most part, you don't, you use your other towns, you use your, outlying areas, stuff like that. If they had it in Indy, they wouldn't have the whole thing at Lucas Oil. You've got to move it around. And take advantage of other stuff that you have. And so when they do use the city itself, it's fascinating to see how they do it. And again, saying, okay, we're going to have an arena, right by, where they have beach volleyball, they have it right by, like you said, the Eiffel Tower, where it's centered. It's when you see the camera shot, it's at half court. It's more or less lined up. Yes, and surfing is in Tahiti. Brian makes a good point there that they set that all the way. You can't have surfing on, in whatever the sea between in the English Channel, basically.
Yeah, I was going to say not a lot of surfing in the English Channel there.
No, less than that. But yeah, I mean, it's really cool. They take advantage of that. They take advantage of all their territory. But you say, okay, what sports are we going to do in the city, and how are we going to take advantage of what we have and the scenery that you have and everything like that? I mean, I saw when we were there, we saw that there was a big stadium near the Eiffel Tower, and like. It's not right. It's obviously not within the complex, but it's just close enough that the Eiffel Tower stands out. But we were just looking around like, I wonder what that is. I wonder what that's going to be, and all that kind of thing. So it's really cool that it's beach volleyball. Like it's kind of random, but it's like it centers it really nice. I mean, they've just taken such advantage of the advantage, the opportunity they have to showcase, a just beautiful city and its skyline and its its stuff. It's pretty amazing.
Five Left says he remembers gymnastics was hard as heck in gym class. Uneven bars are dangerous, I can imagine. But something I learned last week, Dustin, when we had the chance to sit down with Mike Kadick at the Big Ten Football Media Days, that big man, the former left guard for Indiana, now center, is a former ballerina, former gymnast, and there was something else that they were kind of asking him about, and he was kind of oh shucks, because he's a big old lineman now. But that stuff it has to have benefited him because it gives you balance. It gives you all kinds of things that other athletes don't get and don't use. I mentioned Ty Murray, who's one of the most famous pro rodeo cowboys ever. He was a champion in all three of the rough stock riding events: bull riding, bareback riding, saddle bronc riding. He was also a former gymnast. And I'm telling you, balance in athletics is all uber importance.
Yeah, no, I mean, you watch gymnastics. Well, first off, you see the people. Like you're like, okay, well, I mean, they've got muscles on top of muscles on top of muscles. I mean, like you see a gymnastics dude, and you're like, okay, like that guy's got, like biceps, like shoulders. I mean, like when you were talking about the uneven bars, like it's just imagine that for a second. Imagine twirling yourself entirely around a bar. Like go to a pull, like go to your gym. Imagine, yes, Lynn Swann did ballet. Literally every Pittsburgh mom tells her kids that. And like as soon as you show any interest in sports, okay, yeah, Lynn Swann did ballet. You know that, like you think you think it can't help you. Lynn Swann did ballet, and so yeah, no, that's every single Pittsburgh mom will tell you that. But yeah, no, it like all of that stuff is like really really helpful. I mean, again, it's tough. I imagine no matter where you are, it's tough when you're 8 years old if you're a guy to go do ballet. But like I certainly did not. But anything like that, gives you it adds to your athletic palette. But just I mean, gymnastics in particular, you watch these guys like flips and turns and everything like else. Like this is not normal. Not everybody can do this. Uneven bars, like not everybody can do that. You can just twirl yourself around in a bar and jump to the other thing, like and catch it like. I mean, not a not small number of us would tear rotator cuffs. Like that's what would happen to you, at least, at minimum, if we try to do that. And,
I might tear some fat.
and I'd be in trouble. I'm watching this. I'm like, oh my God, like my shoulder hurts just watching this. But it's incredible. I mean, just what these people can do is absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, and I saw a thing on Simone Biles. She apparently went through a lot of mental strife trying to get back to this point to where, and I can only imagine that gymnastics, man, when you become the greatest at something, it comes with a lot of pressure, man.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot going on there. There was a lot going on in USA Gymnastics at that time. The fallout from a lot of bad stuff, Nasser and whatnot. And so, but like that was part of it. That's also just, she was just so dominant for one thing. And I think, I mean, I don't know, sometimes you just get, I can't remember what the phrase was they called it. I mean, like she just got, the turns, the twists, something like that.
The twisties.
That's what it was. And you're just like, oh my God, I mean, you're like, how doesn't everybody get this? Like,
I guess it's like the yips in golf.
What's that? Yeah.
Like the yips in golf.
or anything. Yeah. Or baseball when Steve Sachs can't throw from second base. Like I know what that was like. You know, you're just
couldn't throw it to first.
Yeah. Nothing makes sense all of a sudden. And so you imagine a sport like that, you're like, how doesn't that happen more often? You know, when you get up in the air and like you have to constantly like just maintaining the same kind of balance you usually have. You just don't feel right being up there like you're going to land normally. I mean, I'm surprised. Like I said, I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often. It's amazing that they are constantly in as much control as they are. So that was pretty incredible. Yeah, I mean, like that she fought back from that. I mean, it was sad to watch at the time, and you were just like, okay, like just go, like just get her off the floor. Like this is rough. This is unfortunate. But she came in and she's come back and she's been just absolutely dominant.
Let's take a quick break. Dustin Dopirak from the Indy Stars with us. We'll come back and talk about men's basketball in the Olympics as they get a big win against Serbia. That was not easy. And we'll talk about how many NBA players are in the Olympics that are not on the American team. It might surprise you.
This segment is brought to you by the Fresh Fork in Bloomington.
In the market for a new or used vehicle? Well, nobody beats the prices and selection of Andy Moore Honda in Bloomington. Right now, get a brand new Honda with no payments for 90 days. That's right, 2023 and 2024 Honda Pilots, HRVs, CRVs, Honda Ridgelines, payment-free for 90 days. Or get 0.9% APR financing for 36 months on a 2023 Honda Ridgeline. Go to AndyMooreHonda.com and get more to your door.
Looking for someone to cater your next corporate event, family reunion, or tailgate? To some, a garnish may be nothing more than just a decoration put last on a plate. But in Bloomington, catering starts with Garnish Catering. Serving all of Bloomington and surrounding areas, Garnish Catering is waiting to help make your next event one to remember. Planning a great event shouldn't have to be stressful. Whether we quote you just for catering or a total event package, you can trust that you're making the right choice with Garnish Catering. Visit garnishcatering.com. That's garnishcatering.com. Garnish Catering is a proud partner of WOW Food Group.
If you're looking for a home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in you getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty at cheryl@indyhomepros.com or 317-298-0961. Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty. Let Cheryl Sizemore get you in the home you want today. Cheryl at indyhomepros.com. Whether it's a night out with the family, after work with colleagues, or catching the game with friends, Bubba's 33 is the place for you. Bubba's 33 offers a mouthwatering menu of selections that are all made from scratch every day. The portions are big, but the prices are small. And with over 50 big screen TVs, you'll never miss the big game. Bubba's 33, pizza, burgers, beer. The Ugly Grouper, located on beautiful Anna Marie Island, Florida, is the place to be, and not just because they have unforgettable meals, including locally sourced seafood. The Ugly Grouper has your favorite craft beers and cocktails, along with live music every day. The Ugly Grouper is family-friendly, able to host private parties, and has the biggest grouper you've ever seen. The Ugly Grouper is the place to be on Anna Marie Island, Florida. Tell them Indiana Sports Beat sent you. Go to theuglygrouper.com for more information.
Country living is just a swing away. It can be hard to find the exact home that fits your family's needs, so there couldn't be a better time to build a new home with Property Shore Construction. Now building exclusively south of Bloomington within the Stonecrest Golf community. Choose from one of the gorgeous Stonecrest Signature Series house plans. We have several lots available with scenic views of the golf course. Contact Amy Rhoda with Revesco Real Estate for additional information. 812-583-0919 or go to mystonecrestliving.com. That's mystonecrestliving.com for more details. This segment is brought to you by the Fresh Fork in Bloomington.
Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat Radio on this Monday. Getting you past the weekend and ready for the week. Dustin Dopirak from the Indy Star joining us now. And Dustin, in the USA Team USA men's basketball getting a win, a big win last night, a comfortable win over a team that is, I would have thought would have been one of the tougher teams to play. But here's some numbers for the folks.
In 1991, at the time of the Dream Team, there were, I think, a total of 21 Olympic athletes that were playing basketball, not on the USA's team, that had NBA experience. Today, there are 68 of those guys. That is unbelievable how much it has grown, but also it tells you how this is not just something the Team USA is going to walk into and take over. And for those of you who wish they still had the college players, that'd be nice, except for Team USA wouldn't win they may win a game. They would not be winning. Yeah, they'd be getting just killed by these other teams, which is what started to happen.
Right. I mean, you'd have to set an age limit for everybody else too. Basically is what you have to do. I mean, if you wanted to say, okay, everybody's under 22, something along those lines, they'd have a shot, obviously. But they certainly wouldn't have the best under 22 player because Victor Wembanyama would play for France. If they wanted to do anything like that, they'd have to set it up so that everybody else did the same. But that's how much better they used to be than everybody, is that they could run their college guys out there. It really is also, I think a lot of these, documentaries and stuff you see on the 92 team show you that the 92 team is a big reason why the world caught up, basically because they went out there, they dominated everybody at the Olympics. Everybody realized they had to step their game up, but also they were just enthralled by watching that team, just how good they were, how incredible players they were. You started to see, obviously this is, when you started to see, media sort of, trend, basically make it around the world. Basically, when they started to get a sense more of who these players were, and you saw kids more inspired to go play basketball. And so you've seen the level of talent elevate. Obviously, prior to that, I mean, Russia was always pretty good. There was a lot of talent in the Yugoslavian peninsula, basically down there. But a handful of other teams were okay, but really you got everybody else better. And so, and it's dispersed. Basically you had countries that didn't used to be great are great now. France looks really good. Germany looks really good. There's a lot of good teams in this tournament. So the just level of talent has just elevated around the world. Just there's more investment around the world. There are more people, again, just the NBA itself is putting more money into trying to grow the game overseas, and in different parts of the world. So it's like it almost had to, with the amount of money that's been put in to try to develop basketball talent. The level was going to raise. I mean, I think an amazing one is, like, you look at Canada. You look at, Canada didn't have a team in the 92 Olympics. They were eliminated in the Tournament of the Americas. I went back and checked their team, though. The only guy from Canada in 1992 is Bill Wennington. Unless the name you've seen is Greg Wiltshire, and you run it. The reason why Greg Wiltshire is Cal Wiltshire's dad. He used to play at Kentucky and Gonzaga. It probably had a cup of coffee in the NBA. Those are the names that's it. Now you can name every player on Canada. Basically, everybody that you see that's out there, you've seen play in the NBA. They might have one or two non-NBA guys on Canada, and I don't even think they do. They got guys that have been cut from that team that are really good NBA players. So that's how much Canada's gotten better. I mean, Serbia has the best player in the league, and again, for years and years, Yugoslavia, Croatia, teams and countries in that vicinity were really, really good. Serbia is probably middle of the pack, and they've got the MVP. The U.S. busted them up in exhibition and busted them up yesterday. But, I mean, they've got the MVP. They've got a chance, by virtue of having Jokic and Petrosev and a couple of those, Bogdanovic, a couple of those other players. But, a lot of other players are better than them. I mean, France is loaded. You don't just have Wembanyama. You have Rudy Gobert. I'm trying to think who else is on that team. I just saw them. Nicholas Batum had a really good game there. It's a lot of guys It's a lot of guys you've watched. A lot of guys you've seen at this point. So, when you really see who's out there, you're not surprised. I mean, Germany's loaded. They got both of the Wagner boys. Dennis Schrader. I mean, Daniel Tice. Daniel Tice is a great center for Germany. I don't know why. He's just okay in the United States, but he's just terrific in international play. But it's, the level of talent is increased. There's just so much more talent coming from overseas. They play in the NBA. They're better. And also those teams spend a lot more time together. They play several cycles in a row with the same group. So, I mean, you see, like the U.S. has the most talent and they have depth, and I think they've got a good chance of winning this thing by virtue of just being able to wear people out. But there are other teams that are more used to each other. The cohesion is much better. Germany, I thought, especially, was the case for. So that's some of those teams are definitely going to be trouble for them. I think they're going to be fine in group play. But they get South Sudan again. South Sudan gave them real hell in the in exhibition, and they just beat Puerto Rico yesterday. So it's not going to be an easy road for the U.S. at all to get a gold.
No, and it's been fun to watch, but also there were two guys that didn't play in yesterday's game. Tyrese Halliburton, one of those, but one of the more notable
Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum, who was a freaking all-star, didn't see a
first team All NBA. He's the only American who was first. He was the only American who was first team All NBA. That's a weird piece of it. Like, the other four guys all came from other countries. I mean, which again tells you just how good it's gotten. The other four guys that were first team All NBA were Jokic, Doncic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. And so three of those guys are in the Olympics. One of them got eliminated by the other one, like Greece beat Slovenia in the qualifying tournament. And so Tatum is the one first team All NBA guy that's on the United States team. And he didn't play. And it's wild. I mean, like, I get it. I mean, I had some discussion about this as to whether this should have been the case. It's, part of it, I'm sure, was just, he was playing second team 3-man, and Kevin Durant came in and didn't miss in the first half.
Like 8 of 9 or something.
He was 8 of 8 to start. I think he finished 8 of 9. He finally missed a shot at the end. He was incredible. So I think that was just, I guess Durant got his minutes. Now I look at that and say, okay, you can find minutes for Jason Tatum. Like there are other guys who can sit for him, but some of the other guys that you would pull that I would think, he would play ahead of did have great games. I mean, Devin Booker hit 4 threes. He was really sharp in that game. Drew Holiday was excellent.
People have to remember, some of these guys are out there for defense, not offense.
Sure. Yeah, no, absolutely. And combination of both. But like, I mean, Tatum plays defense, Tatum rebounds. Like, it's not like Tatum has this, Achilles heel. I mean, like Tyrese, is not the best man-to-man defender. And he knows that. So, like you are putting Tyrese in there for, distribution, facilitation, stuff like that. And he's really good at that. And you would think that there's going to be moments where that fits, but like nobody's arguing that he's a better one-on-one guard than Derek White, as far as playing defense. White's second team all defense, him and Drew Holiday both are the best defensive backcourt in the NBA, and two of the best 4 or 5 perimeter defenders. So there's a reason why, those guys are out there and Halliburton isn't. Jason Tatum does pretty much everything well. So as Steve Kerr said, he handled it well. He felt like an idiot not playing him. He's going to play. He's going to make a difference. I think my thing is that like there could be games when you can imagine Jason Tatum being their best player. Because the guy can just really score the basketball at all 3 levels and is big and has size and can defend and can rebound. It was a weird decision on Steve's part. I would just find a way to get him in. Now I get, the other piece is they really like that Adebayo Davis combination on the second unit, is having both of those guys out there to defend. Size matters. Being big in the front line matters a lot in FIBA basketball. Like also the fact that you can take the ball off the rim, in FIBA and it not be goaltending. Like that's, so size, having players like that is helpful. Obviously just the fact that those guys are just so good at switching. Like they're not just good shot blockers. I mean, they're the best 2 switching bigs in the NBA as far as playing defense is concerned. That matters a whole lot for how you're going to guard these teams. I mean, it might be the biggest advantage the U.S. has is to be able to put those 2 on the floor together. It's certainly one of them. And so if you're taking that second team power forward spot away, that makes it harder to get Tatum on the floor. But there have to be minutes from Jason Tatum. There have to be. Like he's incredible. Like
Steve Kerr has already said that he will play against South Sudan. So there's no doubt that comes. Now for Tyrese Halliburton, when that comes, that's a different story.
He's not guaranteed.
He's the Olympic rookie.
Yeah, sure. No, I mean, so is Anthony Edwards, but Anthony Edwards has been spectacular. No, I mean, he's got to get some minutes, just for the.
I thought he would have got some last night toward the end.
Yeah, I mean, like in group play, deficit matters. Basically like margin of victory matters. Basically, like because you are, because you have tiebreakers. Certainly, if you lose, like then that comes into play. So I mean, at some point they're gonna win by enough. If like. Presuming they get past South Sudan, presuming they win that game. And that's not a guarantee. South Sudan's tough. I mean, I think they'll beat Puerto Rico handily. So if they get to the third game against Puerto Rico and they're up by 30 and, Halliburton will get some minutes because, they're going to win the group in that case. Man, 5 lefts. He's dominant. LeBron is dominant. He is busting people up. He's been their best player.
He was playing pretty enthused last night. I mean,
yes,
even late into the game, he played. I mean, this was late.
He was a beast. He was bowling people over. They could not touch him. And he's been their most important player. I mean, like obviously Durant was special yesterday. Durant had missed the entire showcase, with his calf injury. I mean, he looked special last night. But like they don't beat South Sudan without LeBron. They don't beat Germany without.
He scored the winning bucket.
Yeah, he was phenomenal. I mean, he is juiced. And so when you get LeBron getting downhill and wanting to bust people up, you have a spectacular form of LeBron. He looks awesome. I would not, out of the people that I would doubt on this team, LeBron is last on the list. He looks as good as I've seen him in years. So that is the last man I would doubt. LeBron wants this and he wants it bad. And it's fun to watch. I mean, it's cool to see. It's really cool to see. I think it's just when the guy is playing at his highest level at age 39. He is 39 years old. We were just talking about 27-year-olds. So they're like, oh, they've been doing this forever. LeBron's 39. There are guys on this team that were like 6 when he got in the league. He's incredible.
Absolutely. What's up next for you, sir?
Nothing. A lot of nothing.
Olympic basketball.
What's that? Just watching
Olympic
this.
basketball.
Yeah, checking this stuff out. Might write a little, but might not. So yeah, in my chill out period of the year, we have a couple months until basketball gets going. The Pacers have more or less that they really have 1 or 2 contract things left to do. Basically got to decide. It's basically between Enrique Freeman and Oscar Tshiebwe for their last 2-way. I'm presuming they'll, keep Freeman because they just drafted him. They just they gave Andrew Nembhard an extension. I was a little bit surprised that he took it, but big get for them. They were able to get him on 3 years, $59 million. That's a comparatively, team friendly deal. So, they came out of that in good shape, got Toppin, got Siakam as well to obviously to 4-year deals. They've got most of their big extensions done. I think they still want to get TJ McConnell on an extension. So, most of that, they've kept most of this team together. They've got a couple more, end of the roster decisions to make. But for the most part, they're set for what they're going to be in 2024-25. And let's see how they'll, for the most part, run it back and see what they do from there.
Dustin Dopirak, the Indy Star. Make sure you're giving him a follow, keeping up on all things that are going on, especially with the Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton in the Olympics, and etc. Appreciate you, my friend.
Appreciate you, Jim.
Have a great day. Dustin Dopirak joining us here on Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Up next, the Todd father, the shot doctor, Todd Leary joining us here on Indiana Sports Beat Radio, brought to you by myjumpshot.com right after this.
This segment is brought to you by Freethink Apparel.
Enjoy healthy, delicious meals at home without the hassle with the Fresh Fork. Chef-curated, ready-made meals delivered right to your doorstep. Proudly fueling IU athletes and now available to you with a menu that's always fresh and diverse, from hearty proteins to fresh salads. The Fresh Fork empowers you to make better food choices without compromising. Let the Fresh Fork help transform your lifestyle for a healthier way of living today at thefreshforkonline.com. Use promo code RADIO20 and get $20 off your first order.
country living is just a swing away. It can be hard to find the exact home that fits your family's needs, so there couldn't be a better time to build a new home with Property Shore Construction. Now building exclusively south of Bloomington within the Stonecrest Golf community. Choose from one of the gorgeous Stonecrest Signature Series house plans. We have several lots available with scenic views of the golf course. Contact Amy Rhoda with Revesco Real Estate for additional information. 812-583-0919 or go to mystonecrestliving.com. That's mystonecrestliving.com for more details.
Whether it's a night out with the family, after work with colleagues, or catching the game with friends, Bubba's 33 is the place for you. Bubba's 33 offers a mouthwatering menu of selections that are all made from scratch every day. The portions are big, but the prices are small. And with over 50 big screen TVs, you'll never miss the big game. Bubba's 33, pizza, burgers, beer.
Looking for someone to cater your next corporate event, family reunion, or tailgate? To some, a garnish may be nothing more than just a decoration put last on a plate. But in Bloomington, catering starts with Garnish Catering. Serving all of Bloomington and surrounding areas, Garnish Catering is waiting to help make your next event one to remember. Planning a great event shouldn't have to be stressful. Whether we quote you just for catering or a total event package, you can trust that you're making the right choice with Garnish Catering. Visit garnishcatering.com. That's garnishcatering.com. Garnish Catering is a proud partner of WOW Food Group.
If you're looking for a home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in you getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty at cheryl@indiehomepros.com or 317-298-0961. Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty. Let Cheryl Sizemore get you in the home you want today. Cheryl@indiehomepros.com. In the market for a new or used vehicle? Well, nobody beats the prices and selection of Andy Moore Honda in Bloomington. Right now, get a brand new Honda with no payments for 90 days. That's right, 2023 and 2024 Honda Pilots, HRVs, CRVs, Honda Ridgelines, payment-free for 90 days. Or get 0.9% APR financing for 36 months on a 2023 Honda Ridgeline. Go to AndyMooreHonda.com and get more to your door.
This segment is brought to you by Bubba's 33 in Clarksville.
Oh, welcome back, Indiana Sports Speed Radio on this Monday. I hope you're doing well and ready to get the week started off right. Todd Leary from MyJumpShot.com joining us now. Toddrick, how are you, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. How about yourself?
Cannot complain. Nobody wants to listen to it, of course.
No,
so we'll just keep on rolling. But basketball kind of, we say it's winding down, but it's not really. We've got the Olympics going on. Summer camp is going on. There was the Battle of the Bridges this past weekend that Malachi Moreno, Trent Sisley, and Braylon Mullins participated in down in southern Indiana. So there's still stuff going on, man.
Yeah, I mean, basketball is it's become a full-time, full-year endeavor, and these kids, they get a little bit of a break, but I think probably when high school starts back up for them, those recruits probably that's about the time they get a little bit of a break. So at least from the basketball side of it. So yeah, it's full-time, full year now, and those guys being as highly recruited as they are, the year never really stops for them. I mean, it's constant recruiting and 24/7 of trying to figure out what they're going to do next year.
Yeah, it is always something and always fun to keep it rolling on. But when you're playing like in college, as you did this time of year, it can't be fun in the gym. It's still summer and you'd rather be outside, but there's a lot of gym time.
Yeah, I mean, actually playing in the gym is fun. Like summer basketball, when we would play pickup every single day, within our team and a couple of the managers would always play. And I mean, that actually was a lot of fun. The part that's not fun is the conditioning. Like that is, they just finished. I know I saw Coach Marshall posted that they finished their last summertime conditioning workout last Friday. And I know that's a day we all celebrated, because I don't care who you are. Nobody enjoys. I love getting in shape. That part of it's great, but man, the process is difficult. And I know those guys are glad to have that over with.
The process, man. That's why we see a ton of pictures that are put out. The running in the sand, the throwing the medicine ball. A lot of the old-fashioned stuff you'd see back in the old days, man. But it's still true.
That's one of the reasons why I think Coach Marshall Coach Cliff Marshall, with the strength coach for IU, is so successful, and these guys are in such good shape because he doesn't make it some cookie cutter, lift weight routine. It is something special and something different, and sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's not fun, but it's something different you've never done before, and that just makes it a little bit. That's one of the things that makes IU unique, and I don't know that the value of Cliff Marshall is really celebrated like it should, because he's a guy that I don't think we've been able for the last 6 or 7 years to complain about guys not being big enough or physical enough or strong enough or fast enough. He does a great job getting them in shape, and his tough job and his work happens during the summer. He keeps them in shape during the year, but the tough part of his job is during the summer. And I know they just completed that, and the guys look great, and I'm excited to see how they do on the court.
Yeah, there's a reason you do all of these different things that are not just simply running on a wooden floor, because these are moving and strengthening and stretching and toughening muscles that you normally would not use. And so this gives them an opportunity to be as fully gotten in fully shape as possible. I mean, it's like a swimmer, man. They use muscles that we don't even know we have when you're swimming.
Well, and truly, that's really the difference between, that's how conditioning and all of that has evolved. I mean, you look at LeBron James, he talks about spending $1 million a year on his body to keep himself in shape. And we all talk about what a great investment that has been for him, obviously. But Coach Marshall, as much of the stuff, I follow a lot of what he does because I find it very interesting. And a lot of what he does is injury prevention. And it's stuff to build up muscles so that you prevent some of the injuries that take place in basketball. And I really think he's done a great job with that over the years. Yes, Indiana's done with injuries. Every team's going to deal with injuries and have that going on. So you're never going to eliminate it. But boy, I sure think he does a good job of getting these guys in shape. And just like you said, using muscles they're not used to using. I mean, when else are they ever going to roll tires down a beach? And do things like that. I mean, it's interesting to watch. It's fun. And man, he's really, really good at getting these guys in shape. So that part of Indiana, it is a benefit over a lot of other schools, because a lot of schools would love to have a Cliff Marshall. I can tell you that.
Well, and not only that, there's a reason. I mean, there's a reason that Trace Jackson Davis has had the success he's had. It's not all weights and training. I get that, but you better be loaded when you get to that level. Kalel Ware, to me, is really, I saw him set a screen on somebody during summer league play, and I saw that dude's head snap back. And that's not what I would have expected from him a year ago. Kalel Ware, I mean by that. He really just has added the strength to his body, and it's been incredible to see.
Yeah, he really has. And when you look at what they're able to accomplish, I mean, Cliff Marshall, it doesn't get talked about enough, but it's really interesting when you get a new coaching regime that comes in. And I'm pretty sure Archie brought Coach Marshall in from the Bengals when Archie was hired. And when you can survive in the job that he has, when you can survive a coaching change and a new regime change, head coaches like to bring in their own people. And as many professional trainers as Coach Woodson's been able to deal with over the years in the NBA, I'm sure he had a lot of people contact him and a lot of opportunities to bring in somebody new. And it speaks volumes for how valuable Coach Marshall is for IU to be able to survive that coaching change, to be able to want them to keep you on. The players, obviously, they love him. I mean, we see pictures of the guys at his house and them all fishing and all of that all the time. He's obviously a great human being, but boy, he's really, really good at his job too. And you know, I don't. It sounds like I'm advocating for him for something. I don't really even know him that well. I've met him a couple times, but I read a lot of his stuff and I follow why he does a lot of the things that he does with the players and why they do certain exercises. And I find it extremely interesting. And I mean, you can't complain about what the Indiana players look like. I mean, they physically look. I mean, you've heard me for years in our show complain about guys can't shoot. We sure look great. I mean, our abs look fantastic, but we don't shoot it all that well. That's not Cliff Marshall's job. His job is to get him in shape. And boy, he has certainly done that.
Five Left said all you need is a chimp to look like Smokey the Bandit, but I think he was talking about BJ and the Bear. So we're gonna make you BJ and the Bear.
I need Fred, my dog, in here for Smokey and the Bandit.
Oh, Fred! I didn't know about Fred.
Fred, yeah, you remember? Have you ever seen Smokey the Bandit? Fred was the dog that rode in the semi.
Oh yeah, that Fred. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
come on, Fred. Ain't got time for that.
I love Fred.
Oh, absolutely.
I can promise you I've seen Smokey and the Bandit more than probably all of your listeners combined. I'm in the thousands as a kid watching that show. That's a fact.
I thought you were going to say me. I'm like going, hold up on that. Not so fast, partner.
I have watched that show.
Hold it.
When I get home, I'm going to smack your mama right in the mouth.
Dude, we watched that. We on the way to every rodeo and back. We had that on a laptop computer playing everywhere.
I loved
nonstop.
I loved it as a kid.
Oh, I still do. Jackie Gleason was just hilarious. Boy, but yeah, Khalil Ware, though, really it stood out to me.
Yeah,
his success that he has had during the summer league in the NBA, he was successful. And part of that is because he was ready to take that challenge on. He was ready from a strength standpoint, from a conditioning standpoint, and from a playing standpoint. And there's no doubt you have to give the entire Indiana staff credit for getting him ready, in addition to Khalil. I mean, obviously, it starts and ends with the player, but you have to have a lot of people around you to get you there.
No, there's no question about that. And you know, I think that a lot of the NBA people felt like Khalil Ware was ready for that jump and to go to the league. I'm not sure I felt that way. I'm not sure a lot of college basketball fans felt that way. His transition from Oregon in that 1 year at Indiana was huge. It was a big step for him. And I really feel like the NBA people saw something in that bumped him all the way up into the early first round to get drafted, because they see the preparation, they see the success of Trace Jackson Davis that he had, you know, even being drafted in the second round. And I think more teams are going to be willing to take a risk on Indiana players as long as they've got this system set up of developing guys for the NBA.
Yep, absolutely. And now the summer season has started for everybody. Everybody's in camp. As far as football or basketball, we're still 100 days away. Football, not that far. About half of that, or even a third of that, really. We're
don't practice start next week or this week?
Yeah, we're like 1 month away from the first football game. The first football game is August 31st. So
we're there.
Wee baby, 32 days. So
this is a long month though. It's a long month with not very much sports to watch on TV, and the golf bails me out because I get to watch golf and enjoy that. But man, I've become a gigantic football fan primarily because there's really nothing else on to watch. And now I love it. Like I look as much forward to football season on TV as I do basketball, almost. Not quite, but close.
Well, we've talked a lot about Indiana football this year, and because their schedule has really coincided with all the other positive things that is going on, they have 8 home games, Todd. And not only that, they start their first 6 games believe it or not, there is a path to 6-0 for Indiana football, as crazy as that sounds, and that includes a road game in the Rose Bowl against UCLA.
Yeah, I know. I'm telling you, I can't remember. I mean, it has to go all the way back to, I think, to Coach Mallory, maybe Coach Hepburn, from the standpoint of fans being as excited as they are. But I mean, I've never seen anything like it. For coming off of a season that was obviously not super successful, boy, everyone is bought in. I'm one of them. I'm super excited to see how Coach Sig does and has these guys ready. And I'm excited to see, I think we're all, as Indiana football fans, excited to see what the product is. I mean, I think we all think it's going to be a little more of a faster air attack, I think, but I mean, I don't think any of us really know until we get to see it out on the field, and that's what I'm excited about.
Oh, I have to agree with you. It's going to be throw first and run second. There's going to be no question, just looking at what has happened in the past and the talent that they have on that team. They have one of the best receiving corps in the Big Ten, which is unbelievable to say, but truth is the truth. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what they can put together. I'm looking forward to Indiana shocking some people, and that is what's going to happen. They're going to shock. Some of those are going to be Indiana fans, but some of them are going to be fans of other people.
One of them will be me. I'm telling you, coming out of last season, I mean, did we have any hopes? I mean, I just didn't know when it was going to possibly turn around. How in the world we are this excited about it now just is a testament to how impactful, Coach Signetti has been and what he sells and what he brings and his attitude. A lot of it is attitude. That was a Coach Knight thing all along. Like, we were good because we knew we were good. We thought we were good. We knew we were good. We backed it up. And when you do that, boy, it really snowballs. And so this is going to be a very important first 6 games that you talked about, because it's going to be, that first 6 games is going to be the difference between whether, it's a super surprising, awesome season, or they struggle and have to do some more explaining next year. And that first 6 games is going to be a big start to how this season is going to go, obviously.
Now, I see someone mentioning that they were disappointingly bummed to hear that Ja'Kai Newton had a setback. And when it comes to injuries, there's not a lot for us to guess at, but it's also when someone doesn't play for as long as he has, should not be surprising.
What is the setback? I didn't see it.
Well, I don't know.
Are we guessing? Are we speculating?
As a fact, what it is, but so when it comes to injuries, I try not to delve in unless there's certain things. But
I'll put the feelers out and find out what we're dealing with here.
Well, yeah, it's.
I want to know. I want to see him play as much as anybody. Trust me.
Yeah, it's just someone that you want to see get back onto the court who hasn't been able to play for so long, because as he's a specimen as an athlete. I mean, you just look at him, and so, but we'll certainly see. But Indiana, that's why you have to have the depth that they have. I mean, they're going way deep. And when we were talking about the big guys a minute ago, Trace Jackson Davis, and then Hillel Ware. Now you've got a a guy that's very different from either of those two in Umar Ballo. And so what is Mike Whitson going to do with Umar Ballo?
I mean, it's going to be interesting because I think we know how he's going to be used. I mean, his body and his just physical makeup is not really going to change all that much. I mean, he's going to be a big guy that, you're figuring out a way to throw the ball into the post to him. The guy to me that I'm interested to see how he plays off of him is Malik Renew, because I think this really gives him an opportunity to play with his back, or not with his back to the basket all the time, and being able to face up and play a little bit more like Trace Jackson Davis did in his senior year. And I just think it's a good opportunity for Malik. And when they first signed Ballo, I wasn't overly thrilled about it because I want Indiana to play faster. I want them to get up and down the court and play a lot faster. And I don't think Ballo really fits into that scheme, but it does. When I sit back and think about it, it does give Malik the opportunity to play a little bit of a different role, and that's a role I want to see. I think Indiana is a better team with Malik playing a 3/4 position, being able to face up. He's a tough guard, a tough defend when you could put him at that 3/4 position, and I think that's what Ballo gives you, the opportunity to do that. Otherwise, we were going to see a lot of Malik Renew with his back to the basket, little left-handed moves inside.
Todd Leary, appreciate you, my friend, as always. Look forward to seeing you again.
I will. I'll see what I can find out about the injury report and get back to you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
See you, buddy.
The Todd Father from myjumpshot.com. Make sure you go there and check it out. We appreciate Todd as always. And you, most importantly, without you, we have no reason to be here. Also, thanks to Greg Rakestraw and Dustin Dopirak for joining us on the program today. We're back tomorrow to do it all again. Until then, I'm Jim Coyle. I will see you on the radio.
Thanks for listening to Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page for more clips and team coverage of Indiana basketball, football, and more. You can also find full episodes and tons of other content on thehoosier.com. We'll see you next time for another edition of Indiana Sports Beat Radio.